great-grandfather, James Lindley, born November 22nd, 1735, London Grove, Chester, Pennsylvania, still in America. And he was married to Mary Cox. Mm-hmm. So what do we see here? These are all his children? Mm-hmm. And they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children. Oh, wow. We are not aware when he died, but Mary died before 1800 in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. It was likely that James also died in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Because vital records aren't very good for this time period, I searched through online databases of newspaper records. I found this really interesting newspaper article.
Oh my gosh. Looks like an original.
It is a very good copy of an original.
Wow, the South Carolina Gazette, Thursday, October 18th, 1770. It was this day ordered by His Honor the Lieutenant Governor that the names of the justices assigned to keep the peace be published in the gazettes.
Let's go down to here to Granville County.
Justices for Granville County, Stephen Bull, and then just a bunch of names. James Lindley, without the D.
Exactly.
So he was a justice. What does that mean?
Okay, so this is 1770.
Before the United States became a country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
America was still colonies. So he is a justice working for the British Crown.
What was his job?
Granville was this strip of land in South Carolina, right on the border of what is now Georgia. It's still mostly Native American land, so this is very much a frontier area. So James would have performed the duties of a modern justice of the peace, taking part in legal transactions, just kind of enforcing the law. And justices were usually men that were very well respected in the community.
So it's 1770. This is so close to the Revolutionary War, and we're on the precipice of becoming our own independent nation. So James Lindley, my 6-time great-grandfather, was working for the Crown. Where do you think he would have fallen in all of that?
That's very hard to say
Yeah.
with just this evidence right here. So what I would suggest is actually going to Charleston yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Visiting the South Carolina Historical Society and seeing what records they have.
Charleston, South Carolina. Here I come. All right. Papa's going to Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh.
All right. We'll learn about our family. I love you. Here we go.
Ask all the questions.
1,
I
2,
3. Wow. Wow.
Bye. I'm going to Charleston, South Carolina. I'm very excited to find out more about James Lindley. I've never been to Charleston before. It's so charming. My mind has been kind of reeling. I really didn't think that we went this far back. I think it makes me feel more deeply rooted as an American. I'm meeting with this historian. I want to try to find out what role James Lindley played in the American Revolution. Hello.
Hi.
I'm really curious to find out about my 6 times great-grandfather, where his loyalties lie.
Everyone in America before April 19th, 1775, the beginning of the war, was loyal. Everyone was. Britain was the strongest nation on the face of the earth at that point, but Britain had run up a huge debt. They started to pass tax bills, taxing the colonies in various ways, and the Americans protested. They believed that they should not be taxed except by their own legislatures.
James Lindley, was he a part of the revolution?
I do have something that I think
I saw
you
those
would find
little
useful.
folders over
Yes.
there. A journal of Colonel David Fanning's transactions during the late war in America from the year 1775, commencing 1st of May until the peace. Is this actually someone's personal journal?
Colonel David Fanning was a local militia person in the backcountry of South Carolina. In every area of the colonies, There was the militia. There is no formal army. And men between the ages of 18 and 45 were automatically enrolled in the militia.
Okay, interesting.
Fanning is writing this memoir.
Colonel Thomas Fletchel ordered the different captains to present 2 papers for the inhabitants to sign. One was to see who was friends to the king and government, and the other was to see who would join the rebellion. So the rebellion.
Yes.
I'm assuming he means the American Revolution.
Right,
Okay.
right.
The first day of May, Captain James Lindley of Rayburn's Creek presented 2 papers. There was 118 men signed in favor of the king, also declared to defend the same, at the risk of lives and property, in July 1775.
So this is 3 months after the start of the war.
It's interesting so obviously James Lindley kind of went to all the people in his company and he took a poll to see who were friends of the king and who would join the revolutions.
Yes.
Okay.
After the start of the revolution, the population starts to divide significantly. This is a moment at which people in America have to decide whether they would retain that loyalty. The revolutionary leaders, they were called the Patriots. And the people who remained loyal to the crown, they were called loyalists. And of course, at this point, nobody knew how it was going to turn out.
It's been a scary time.
It would have been very scary.
Yeah.
Because after all, how could the Americans possibly in a war defeat the greatest force on earth, the greatest force on earth? So it was a difficult decision, but it was one that was forced on people. This document that they're talking about that was being circulated was actually sent out explicitly by the revolutionary leaders in South Carolina, and they definitely wanted to know who's on our side and who's not on our side.
So how many people are in his company, roughly?
He would have maybe 200 men.
200 men.
Something like that.
So 118, it's kind of split down the middle. Where do you think James Lindley signed?
I'm dying to know, was he a patriot or a loyalist?
We don't know from that document, but I do have another document. This is actually part of a book which might help.
All right.
This book comes from the South Carolina Historical Society.
Okay. Documentary history of the American Revolution. January 2nd, 1776.
So this is now 9 months after the war started.
It is, yes.
Okay. Mr. Richardson to the Council of Safety. What is the Council of Safety?
At this point, in South Carolina, the provincial government had collapsed. The Council of Safety is established by the revolutionary leaders to run the colony.
Okay. Wow.
So this is an interim patriot government.
So this is by Richardson.
This is by Richardson. Richard
Okay.
Richardson. He was a patriot.
Gentlemen, you will receive, if nothing happens, the prisoners which, upon examination, find were the most leading and active in taking the powder at 96. So taking powder, does it mean taking bullets?
Taking gunpowder.
Oh, literally.
So what is 96?
The center of the backcountry of South Carolina, it's a small village and a fort, and the Council of Safety, the revolutionary leaders had acquired some gunpowder, which they moved and stored there at 96. The backcountry men who are loyalists, a group of them attacked and took the gunpowder.
Prisoners sent to Charlestown by Colonel Richardson. Oh my gosh.